All right, man. We talked a lot about sports so far, and just we kind of touched on how social media has affected sports, and I can't help but think just on a broader spectrum of how much social media has had an impact on the world today, and everybody just having the ability to have a camera in their face and a platform. I mean, you can create a platform at the drop of a dime at this today. What are your overall thoughts? And if you want me to kind of go first, I will. But I just want to know, what are your overall thoughts on like just social media, the effect it's had on the world, and just especially somebody.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
I gave a whole baseball fucking.
That was dope though. It's just interesting to me because, and I think we might have touched on this before, but I feel like the generation that I'm in, I was born in '91, so I'm 32 now. It's like we kind of got the best of both worlds, right? We were forced to be outside, but at the same time, around the time I got to high school, like eighth grade, around that time, like MySpace and social media had just started. Kind of grew up on both. I think social media made the world too small. And what I mean by that is the hardest part growing up in the hood was fighting temptation, right? That was one of the hardest things, whether that's getting fast money, whether that's chasing girls, whether that's, I mean, these are things that are kind of taught to you. And I just think with Instagram and things like Twitter and stuff, just social media period today, we can just see, I can just scroll and I'll randomly see some woman who could live in another country or some kid who lives in another country or wherever they live. And it just opens up these kids today to just more temptation, I feel like.
No, for sure.
Whether it's, again, chasing the girls, whether it's them comparing themselves to other kids in their age group or whatever. And I think it's having a lasting effect. It's going to have a lasting effect. And it's always interesting to me to see how people older than me handle social media. And I like a lot of these OG dudes, street guys, are just on these podcasts telling war stories. Just
feel attacked right now.
Just no, but your war story can't get you indicted.
This is true. Well, some of them could. I just choose not to tell them.
But that's the old school in you, though.
Exactly.
Honestly,
it is. No,
but I think the constant need for attention and validation today is just.
Yeah, I agree.
It's scary, man, and it's just like
it's true. That's that dopamine.
Yeah, it's like even companies and these big companies, they use outrage marketing and things, like even the fact that that's a term to where I'm going to purposely post something or design something, like these big companies using racist things like the coolest monkey in the jungle type stuff. They know what that's going to be. They know what that's going to do, but at the end of the day it works out. You know what I mean? I just want to get your take on somebody who grew up in the, like you said, the 70s and 80s in the Bay Area, which is a very diverse place, and it has such a rich culture, and I think a lot of the Bay losing its culture comes from those influences that I mentioned. Like,
I think that's true.
Now everybody out here makes, they use Chicago slang with ops and dots and all that. Like that's, you get what I'm saying?
No, I do. I think.
So yeah, just what's your take on just somebody who was obviously outside pre-social media, and now somebody who has to navigate in a world where social media is everything.
No, it is, and it definitely is changed a lot, right? I mean, there's, and I don't want to be that old guy who's just out talking negatively. There's good things about it, right? Like people get to have platforms and businesses, and the purest thing about it is that you get to see someone that you love and follow their life, and
without having to directly talk.
Yeah, exactly. So there's positives to it, but it definitely has changed. That seeking of validation and the things that we value, who gets, what type of people get blue checks, and what type of, now people, anyone can get them, but like even that, it was only a certain type of person that would get those, right? And then those are viewed that like you get more value if you like. It's just the whole thing is just not based on necessarily reality and what has the most value from a human perspective. And I just think about how hard it is, especially for women, and like that part about it really bums me out, right? The comparisons, the beauty standards, you know, the filters and whatever, you know, pressure is on women to sort of live up to these things. It's got to be exhausting,
Right.
Especially for younger women. So, you know, but ultimately, I think that you know, it's something that, like for me, there's been times I've been into it, and like now I'm hardly into it at all. I can't even. I mean, when was the last time I posted something? It's just It's just the whole thing just seems so kind of lame at the moment, and I try not to be that way because again, there are good parts to it, but I think it's something that, you know, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? This is what it is, and we're not getting away from it. But I wish there was a way for people to reconnect with their humanity, reconnect with each other, be present with each other, right? Like, you know, my boy Big Rich had his birthday. Shout out Big Rich, and me and Lil D went to the club. And it was just like the wildest shit I ever seen, yo. Like I could only stay for like 20 fucking minutes. No dudes dancing with women. All the dudes was in a group. All the women was in little groups, and they're just all filming themselves at the club. Like they're not there to be there and interact. They're there to post that they were there.
Yep.
And that just made me sad.
That was one of my biggest pet peeves in my last relationship, and I had to catch myself because, and it wasn't until I went to Croatia when I thought about this, right? But it was like, I used to not get mad at my ex, but I used to always mention to her, like, can we just enjoy the moment as opposed to you putting a camera in my face all the time? Now, the flip side of that is the memories, and I get that part, right? So then when I go to Croatia, my thing was, okay, I'm not really a social media poster, but I'll make some videos, because I'm not even a picture guy. Like, I'll go play, you know this, we don't even have pictures together, and we kick it. But it's like, but we never think of, oh, let's sit here and take a picture.
But we got memories.
Right. We got great memories.
Great memories. Right. They're here.
Exactly. Yeah. But
we do always say, damn, we didn't even take a picture.
Exactly. Yeah. But I just always used to just be like, damn, bro, like, because I don't even like taking pictures. I hate a camera in my face. Right. I like to just be in the moment. I like to experience the moment. I don't care if you know I was in Croatia or if you know where I'm at this moment or if I'm at this concert or this game.
I've gone the other way. I've gone the total other way. Like, I don't post, not like I don't want anyone to know, but it's like my little protest at this point. Yeah. I'm not going to fucking do this. Yeah. It's kind of stupid.
No, it's not like, though. It's not though, because that is, I just think that's
I'm just trying to be fully present, you know? But
I mean, we went to the Warriors game together one time and we kind of laughed about it. We were sitting there and we were thinking, look at all these people that are at the game, but watching the game through their screen because they're constantly recording.
Oh, you always know who's never sat in them seats before.
That's a good point too.
You know, and then people, but then people are oblivious with it. I, you know, like, let me see your phone for a sec. So like, you're filming the game and you're like this, right? You can film the game, but people film like this. Yep. So the person behind them is now watching the game through your phone. Like people lose all sense of space or spatial awareness, all consideration for other people. It's just to get their shit on film in the best way possible to show other people that they were there.
Yep. What about this one when,
man,
I hate when I get a text of, it could be a friend, it could be you, it could be somebody's like, oh, I saw you were here, and you might have saw me in the background of somebody else's story.
Right.
So you're recording yourself, but you don't even know. I could be over here.
Right.
I could be having enemies. You could be giving them my location. And again, it goes back to your sense of surroundings and awareness. I don't even think people care.
Yeah, I don't go outside, so people don't hit me with that. But that would annoy the shit out of me.
I hate watching somebody's story and seeing myself in the background.
Right.
It drives me insane.
Well,
but you can't control it.
To the humanity thing, like I don't, you know, all these fight videos, yo, and like, or somebody's fucked up and everyone's just filming it and no one's helping the person.
I hate it, bro.
Like what the, like we're just losing our humanity.
You know what's funny? Even as a kid, when we first started having camera phones, when I had my Metro and all of that, we first started having cameras on our phones. I have never recorded a fight in my life, bro.
Right.
Never.
Nah.
I'm just not. It's just like, why? I don't. Right. But I'm also naturally just. I don't like embarrassing people.
Right.
Now I crack jokes. You know what I mean? But I also accept the jokes back on me. But if you record, and I even tell my friends this sometimes, it's like, bro, don't record me. Like, even if I'm drunk, catting off over there, like, you recording me, it just makes me look at you different. Because it's like you're trying to catch me at a vulnerable state for what? Is this
Right.
something to use when you see fit? Is something to make
What
a
do they
mockery
say
of
when
me?
you say that?
They always downplay it, of course, and it's sometimes it's like a joke. I don't think they take me serious. I've never really pushed the issue, but there's times where I've knocked people's phones down and stuff, like girls recording me, like, bro, don't record me, especially if I don't know you.
Right.
My people know, because I don't like seeing myself on social media without my permission.
Right.
And I'm gonna be sure, even when I'm out working with my camera stuff, right? And I might be shooting something in public, I make it a point not to get anybody else in my shoot.
Right.
And if I do, you won't see your face. You won't see your license plate. You won't see little things like that.
I experienced that, years ago when I had this girl came to visit me. This lady came to visit me, and she was recording in my house. And this wasn't like I wasn't like hiding. I was single at the time, but it was just like, I don't really want you to record in my space. Like this is
my space.
This is my space.
Yeah.
And she was so offended. I'll fucking record. Well, okay. Well,
Well, they take it as you must be hiding something or hiding somebody, and it's like,
no,
that's simple-minded shit that will make me never talk to you again.
Well, and that's what happened.
Right.
I did.
Right.
But it's like, this is my space. This is my house. I don't necessarily want it for your, background or your selfies and your mirror pics and all that. It's just, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong, but it just didn't. It felt like intrusive to me. You know what I mean? It felt
it's fucked up because a lot of the times they don't even realize that. They're not doing that on purpose to be intrusive. It's just a habit for them.
And it's offensive to them if you even bring it up that it is that way for you. And that's what I mean is that we're all it sort of has created a self-centeredness and a selfishness which already exists in most humans anyway, but I think it's just sort of exacerbated that, man. You know what I mean? Where that side of people comes out more. It's just all about capturing that moment and putting it out there to get the dopamine of the likes and the validation and all that type of shit. And I just, yeah, man. And then sometimes you're at an event, and then the event gets posted about in a way that you're like, well, that's really not what was going on there, or that's not what that was, or and it's just like now I'm looking at this person in a way like, dude, you really,
or you invite somebody to an event,
and
the first thing they do is pull their phone out. That's always weird to me too.
That's everybody,
especially if I'm inviting you around a group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because. And you might see somebody else recording, and that might make
right.
you think it's okay. But I just always felt weird about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, getting other people in the camera, and if you're gonna record yourself. Like every once in a while, I'll go out, I'll post something, but I'm very conscious to not get other people in my shots. Very, like I make it because again, I hate it when it happens to me. I hate seeing myself in the background of somebody's video.
Well, and it's to that point, it's social media is brutal on a relationship, yo.
Oh man,
like it's a wonder any of us can even, there's always the dilemma: do we follow each other? Do we not follow each other? Right? And then
what do you think about that?
I mean, I think it just depends on the people, man, and it depends on the relationship, like how healthy your relationship is, right? Like I think in a perfect world, you
should be okay.
You should be able to follow each other, and but it's just that it has to be a real transparent, solid relationship, and those are rare these days.
Do you think social media has given people a sense of entitlement to access to you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, people, absolutely. People, countless situations I've been in where, and sometimes I don't even follow the person, and then they'll bring up something on my social media, and I'm not talking about I can understand it in relationships I've been, even though I don't like that. I mean, at least in that. But this is like someone you may be just dating or talking to, and then they'll say, "Oh, I saw this on," and you're just like, "Why are you doing like an investigation?"
Right.
That's just weird to me.
Or what about the one where it's like, "Oh, I saw you post on social media, but you haven't texted me back yet."
I mean, I can understand why somebody would say that, right? Like. We've talked about how, the slow texting thing, but people are all on their phones, but then they're not texting back, Okay, sure.
You know what's funny about that? I think that that's also an effect of social media because I think, I don't want to just put this on women, but I think it feeds people's insecurities when they see a lot of notifications.
Yeah, probably.
So they purposely don't check the messages because they want that number to be high down there. So when they do post a screenshot, I've seen people literally post like a screenshot of just their home screen, and their caption will say, shaking my head, I don't feel like reading all these messages.
Jesus.
Like I've seen that.
Wow.
And so I think that plays into
right.
I made a joke to you before. It's like I remember it got to a point with me, and I might go back to this, but I would meet a woman out at the bar, wherever I'm at. I wouldn't even ask for the number. I would just ask for the Instagram because I know I have a better chance of getting in touch with you through Instagram, whether it's me replying to your story, whether it's me DMing you,
that's wild,
than texting you. Seriously, I used to. It really got to the point where I did that, and I'm thinking about going back to it.
That is wild.
But it goes back to the slow texting thing, and I think even that social media has made women almost take a stance in that, and like I'm not gonna be thirsty for this man. I'm not gonna make him think I like him because then he gonna start dogging me or whatever the case may be. And again, I don't want to make it seem like social media is the worst thing ever, but because like you said, there's definitely a bunch of pros to it. I mean, a lot of my stuff is on social media.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, I know. And when we get this thing really going, we're gonna do all the shit we got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think all of what you're saying is true, and it's unfortunate, and I think that's why, it's important in your relationships, whether they're platonic relationships, male, female, whatever, like to just really seek people who aren't, so caught up in that they can't function in their humanity, because that's the good shit. You know what I mean? Like that's the good shit.
That's the priceless shit, and that's the real shit. That's the reality.
That's the real shit. And it isn't just a generational thing. It's people my age that do that shit too.
That's what's always interesting to me because the kids, like my son has had an iPhone since he was 5. That's like that when you think about it, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it's always like my daughter, she's 2 and she can work a phone like easy.
Yeah.
But it's always interesting to me when I see people who weren't raised in this technology era and weren't raised in the social media era, but they conform to it.
Yeah, no, it happens.
And again, that's why I brought up like the OGs now, all these gang bangers and OGs who either just came home from prison after doing all these years, and they're literally on camera talking about
crazy to me.
Crimes that
and even
committed.
There's a 10-year period where I don't have but a few pictures of me because that shit was evidence back in my day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I wish there were more because it was some great shit. But that's just what it was. And then you had to take the picture, you had to take it to the shop, wait for it to develop, get it. It was a whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, there's people that are my age that are just as caught up in the shit as somebody in their fucking early 20s.
That's what's crazy to me.
It's crazy.
One thing I don't like about social media is I'm really careful with my consumption of things.
Yeah.
And I just think social media takes that choice away from me. I hate seeing people murdered on camera. Oh, yeah. I don't even like watching fights. That's kind of to my point earlier. I don't like
motherfuckers can't fight.
Right. I don't like watching fights. I don't like watching, the less fortunate being recorded.
Yeah.
There's so many things that it's just like, I don't like watching the train wreck. I'm not that guy.
Me either.
A lot of people like that shit. I've never been that guy. I'm gonna turn my head.
Yeah, you don't want to watch people suffer.
I mean, I'm the coach that like I have a sensitive stomach, so I'm the coach that like somebody get injured on the court, I don't even want to see it. Yeah. I don't want to see your finger pointed the other way. I don't want to see none of that. I'm not into it.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I don't want to see that shit either, man.
But yeah, I hate that social media has just made everything so accessible. Now again, the good side of it is when it comes to awareness, you can kind of spread them. You can spread messages faster. But now with that, you have to cipher through the bullshit. I've seen clips go viral, and it's complete false information.
Oh, that's just all the time.
And it's just like, bro, and then the fact that everybody has a platform today, just by signing up to an app, you can hear people spreading information, giving knowledge, and it's completely false. And now everybody's an expert in this and an expert in that.
Yeah, during the whole pandemic, everyone became a fucking immune or whatever the fuck. you know,
day traders and all of these things.
Fucking, you know, vaccines and on fucking how fucking shit gets started. And it's like, dude, none of you motherfuckers know anything about this shit
at all. And they just saw a clip of somebody that sounded convincing.
Exactly.
And they're repeating the information.
That's it. That's all it is, man. And so, yeah, you know, I mean, for me, I'm barely on Instagram anymore, even like watching it. Like I click on it every once in a while, you know, see what you posted or whatever. But I'm on Twitter, but my Twitter is really like sports, music. I follow this dude who posts these old pictures of San Francisco, which I think are dope. Like he'll post a market in 4th Street
from back
in the day.
Oh, that's fire.
It's crazy,
that's
yo.
Fire.
These pictures are wild. I don't know how he got this shit.
Right.
But my Twitter boring as fuck. I ain't got fucking women all on my Twitter. I ain't got none of that shit. It's just the things that I'm interested in. You know what I mean? And you know, so I get news from Twitter, you know, like legitimate news and sports news and music news. And that's really all I use Twitter for. I don't
What do you think about the fact that, and then we can kind of wrap this up.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that we could literally be sitting here talking about something, whether it be a brand or anything, and then we leave here and scroll through our social media and see an ad for
That's a great point. Yeah, I hate that, right? And
it's creepy.
You saw The Social Network, right?
No.
Oh, you got to watch the documentary. It's crazy. It just fucking talks about
what is it called? The Dilemma?
Social Dilemma or Social Network or Social Dilemma.
I think I saw Social Dilemma.
Okay, the where they talk about how the social media apps was built and all that shit. It's really interesting.
I think so.
The Social Network was the Facebook one. My bad. But yeah, and it talks about all that. I mean, they're watching everything you search or talk about, all of that shit. I hate that shit, yo. But that's
crazy.
what we live in now, and that's why it cracked me up when everybody was talking about, oh, the vaccine, they're gonna put a chip in you, motherfucker. They don't need to put a chip in you. You give them.
You're
all
walking
the
around
answers.
with the chip.
Yeah, and you give them all the answers all day.
What about that? Nowadays, you can't even visit a website without giving them your information.
I hate that. But that's what
all these fucking logins. How am I supposed to remember all these passwords?
I know.
This one I gotta have a special character, and this one gotta include a number.
They know everything about all of us, man.
It's crazy, bro.
Crazy. And it's horrible. You know, it's just horrible. But you know, there's just selling data. You know, mega data or whatever they call it. They're just selling that shit, and we're just giving it to them.
It's crazy how valuable
it is.
Something like that is.
I know.
It's incredible.
But you know, I think it you know, I think for all of us, there's an opportunity, you know, and now this AI shit's going to take it to a whole nother place, right?
God.
But, you know, I think there's an opportunity for all of us to you know, to get more grounded with the people that we really care about and with ourselves, first of all, and the people that we care about, and, you know, and put the shit down sometimes, put the phone down sometimes. Man, you have to, man, because that shit'll keep your attention for as long as you let it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So.
That's true.
Anyway,
you got any closing words for us today, man?
Put the phone down, man.
Put the phone down.
How about you?
Yeah, I don't got no closing remarks today, man. I'm tired. I'm
we'll
ready to go
be back.
home.
This
was
be back.
dope, though, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
We will be back. Y'all stuck with us.